to be like? Like, what is this mold that we generally see in the music industry when we're thinking female musicians?
I think especially with like black female voices, it's either you're a house singer, and if you're not a house singer, then you're an Afro-pop singer. If you're not an Afro-pop singer, then you're R&B. I'm a genreless vocalist. I really consider myself a genreless. I like R&B, I like hip-hop, I like house, I like
you like music.
I like to make music. I like to create music. So I've sat in rooms where they're like, you can't do that. You can't do everything. You need to be like Lady Zamar, or you need to be like this person, or you need to be like that person. It's like, but that's not me. And I think that we always just want women to be one thing. We want them to be like, either you're like super ratchet or you're like perfect. You can't be a little bit of both. You can't just be yourself. It's so controlled and so manufactured. It's almost like you're a commodity. And it's annoying. It's boring. And I don't want to be a part of that.
I like the fact that you mentioned that. I know Ubusiswa was actually not a gqom and a house singer.
Yes.
When she got into the industry, she was an R&B jazz singer, and that's what she wanted to do. And I don't want to take anything away from her and what she's doing now. She's doing it incredibly amazing. And the record company that she's been with, has represented her well. You know what I mean? But where do you then sort of see yourself personally in your career?
I just see myself honestly just making music. Like when you buy a Nontu X project, it's like it's genreless. And what I'm more interested in is my message. What am I saying in my songs? How much of myself am I expressing? What story am I telling? Am I connecting to the person who's listening to this record? That for me is more important. It doesn't matter what genre you pick, because as long as you're like feeling what I'm saying, whether it's fun and loose or whether it's serious and romantic, connection is very important for me.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. And I like what you said earlier on about you doing it yourself because you know that you can do everything. It actually reminds me of something that Beyonce said. Beyonce said once she took ownership of herself and she decided to, run her own brand and manage herself, that's when she started to understand that she can be everything. That she can be the mother and the wife and the sexy, sultry singer, and the etc., etc., etc. And it's so sad that we as women first have to see it in ourselves before the rest of the world can see it in us. But kudos to you, truly, kudos to you for seeing that and following that. And if I was a musician, I'd want to be signed to you too.
Let's go to the music. You are currently working on your EP.
Yes.
And can you give us a taste of what we can expect in the EP, or when we can expect it? Because clearly I was excited. I was like, she released it.
Already.
I
want it now.
This EP's been like haunting me. So I think I'm gonna do like a 7-track situation and drop that towards the end of the year. I'm like praying for November. So I'm in the studio right now, and it's gonna be eclectic. It's gonna be versatile. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a bunch of love songs, a bunch of personal songs, a bunch of feel-good songs. It's just an introduction. It's a taste. Hi guys, this is Nontu X. This is who I am. If you like it, I'll give you more. It's that type of thing. I have like no expectations.
But I know, you are a record label owner, so you are also in the business of music. You're not just a face. What has been the most difficult part of you owning this record company and releasing music? Because I know the financial struggles that are attached to it are not easy.
That was like the first thing I was going to say. The reason why I'm doing an EP, I'm gonna keep it 100, because she can't afford an album right now. She ain't got it.
And that's cool.
So you know what I mean. So I'm just doing what I can with what I have. That's what you learn, is how to work with what you've got. And so definitely the financial aspect of it, and just making sure that my money goes to the right things. And also as it, like, knowing when to wear my artist hats and when to wear my business hats. Like as an artist, I'm very creative, I'm a dreamer, I'm romantic. I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this and then we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna wear this and then that. And then the businesswoman says, but you must ask.
People. I love that. Now, for someone who doesn't know, because I don't know, what's the difference between an album and an EP? You just mentioned that you're doing an EP because it's more expensive to do an album. What's the difference? What's the difference between the two?
An EP, so we're looking like 5 to some people stretch it to 7 tracks, but it usually starts at like 5 tracks. So it's more like an independent little project. There's no pressure with an EP. You can play around creatively. An album is a lot more formal. Most likely you're aiming for a physical release, whereas like an EP you can just do like a digital release, for example. You don't have to have physical copies, but with an album you're really looking at maybe something that will be like a hardcore copy that you'll put in stores, and that's like where like the big money is.
Sure. Understood.
I want to put you on the spot right now.
Oh,
right?
I like it, Raps. Whatever you're thinking, man, I love it.
Can you give us like a young taste
Of what?
Of
your favorite, your most favorite song? It can be yours, it can be somebody else's, but something just to say that the EP is coming, and here's the girl, Nontu X, in the building, and here's what she's offering.
Really, guys?
Come on.
I'll sing you a snippet from my single Love Songs, which I love so much. And it goes something like this. Stand beside me, Bengithi, ngifuna ukukhuluma, kodwa mazwi awavumi ukuphuma, uyangifanela, you compliment me, uyangifanela, you compliment me.
Come through with the heat.
And then she was like, oh, it's early. But then she was like, but I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it even though it's early.
Listen, let's shut the show down. Sign out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We rock. You can't come back after that.
Oh gosh.
Nontu,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Where do people find you? Social media? Where can they find you? Book you?
Yes, so I am at Nontu.x on Instagram, at Nontu_X on Twitter, and Nontu space X on Facebook. That's NONTUX.
And when that EP drops, this is the first stop that you make.
I'm gonna be here, and we're gonna talk all about that.
Good, amazing.
A big shout out to Nontu X. Time now is 37 minutes after 8 o'clock.